What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I do want to start off by saying that if you haven't seen my previous two videos, I definitely recommend checking them out. They're all related to this ticker that I traded today, which is ticker symbol BIDU. They detail why I saw so much potential in this ticker for this week, and I go over a little bit how I planned to approach this day trade today. So yesterday I sold my swing trade for a quick profit of $2,000, and I discussed how I was going to approach the day trade today. And today, executing that plan, making a quick profit of $6,000 in the first few hours of the market open. So let's go ahead and dive into the video and review how I approached this trade and how I locked in those profits. The last few days have been pivotal for ticker symbol BIDU as I looked to see if it was going to continue its upward trend. So taking a closer look, this is the 30-day, 30-minute chart. As you can see, it's been pushing up, sold off, and then started pushing up again. And then it started to form what's known as an upward wedge or an upward triangle. As you can see here, this clear level of resistance has been acting as a level of resistance for the last couple of days. However, the levels of support have been rising, and so at this point, we are met at a crucial point where either this price action is going to break above that resistance or it's going to break below and start to end this bullish trend and start to just push down and sell off. And so today I knew that I was going to find resistance around this area. And one of the reasons that I knew this is because I've been referring to the ETF CQQQ, which is the Chinese tech ETF. And one big player for this ETF today was Alibaba, since they had their earnings report during the pre-market hours. And so I saw that during the pre-market hours, Alibaba actually had pretty solid earnings. I believe that while sales slowed, they did see an increase in net income, and EPS also beat estimates. And so I knew that Alibaba was going to play a big catalyst for today. And so, like I said, I saw that during the pre-market hours, during the earnings report release, it started to push up and was making higher levels of support. And so at the market open, I went ahead and picked up a couple of calls for ticker symbol BIDU. So let's take a closer look now here. My execution for this trade definitely wasn't the best. I think because I was so excited for this trade, I saw so much potential in it that I got in really early. So what I want to show you guys now is this is the chart for the option call that I ended up trading. And so it's very similar to the price action of the stock. However, it does have a couple differences based off of strike prices, intrinsic value, and so forth. And so I ended up getting in literally right when the market opened. I ended up buying at the high around $2. 1 second. Okay, so the market opened and I picked up the shares here at $2, and immediately it dropped down to 1.47 per contract. And as you can see here, this is the chart for BIDU. It sold off and found resistance along this this pinkish, purplish exponential moving average. And so that's why I didn't sell my position. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a picture right now, a screenshot that I took. I was actually down over $4,000 at one point during this position. And that was definitely scary, but I knew that this stock had so much potential, and so I held throughout all of that. And so it consolidated for this period here, because you can see here pushing up and then just consolidating, selling off. But this was key. At this point, I was ready to take the loss and lose $4,000. But what I was looking to see is if it was going to make a higher low and continue this upward trend. And thankfully it did. Went ahead and made a higher low, and then finally broke above the resistance that we're seeing here. So let me show you guys. Finally broke above this resistance that we saw here. So first of all, making higher levels of support, right? So ignore that. 1 second. Making higher levels of support, as we can see here, and then finally breaking above this resistance, right? Breaking above that resistance, now having the blue EMAs act as a level of support and continuing to push up above the previous day's resistance. So like I said, it was forming this upward triangle, and so this was the previous level of resistance that was crucial for it to break above, and it finally did, broke above that. And I definitely think that I took a very conservative approach as I sold my contracts around this area here, because this is one of those patterns that when you find this pattern and it goes accordingly, you want to just let this thing ride, because it's such a bullish pattern. And it's just like, I think that because of my bad entry, because I was so excited in my entry and getting in a little early, that kind of caused me to, it kind of threw me off my game, and it kind of caused emotions to get in the way. And so I said, okay, you know what, it's $6,000, that's so much money, I might as well just lock it in right now. But in hindsight, like, when the setup is that perfect, it's one of those things where you definitely want to let your winners ride. And I clearly saw the next level of resistance based off of the previous levels of support, as you can see here, acting as a previous level of support around here, and then converting itself into a level of resistance. And so I just drew a line all the way from the previous price action over here, and what we're seeing now is exactly what I predicted, a new level of resistance. And so yeah, definitely taking a very conservative approach to this trade, and it's one of those things that you just have to learn from your mistakes. And the reason that this was definitely a mistake is because the setup was perfect, and I knew where the next level of resistance was. The buys were still strong, and the volume was still there. And so instead of making $6,000, even selling at this area here, I would have made like roughly $10,000. And so, yeah, in hindsight, like I said, should have let this one ride out a little bit longer, but still very pleased with the profit. I actually started shorting this stock. I bought a couple puts here, and I expect it to sell off around this area back to the $167 area, and then I'll probably pick up a couple of more calls. And so let's go ahead and look at the trade again. So like I said, to the left, what we're looking at is the chart for the options call, and then directly to the right is the actual chart for the stock itself. So let's go ahead and look at my Robinhood. Like I said, I started off the position today picking it up around $2 per contract. So I picked up 60 contracts at $2.01, and then 30 more contracts at $1.98, making my average buy-in at $2. Then ended up selling. This was like a random sell. I sold 6 contracts at $2.20. And then the majority of my contracts, 84 contracts, were sold at $2.72. So I went ahead and I made 72 cents in profit in 72 cents in profit for 8,400 shares. And I made 20 cents in profit for 600 shares, which made my total profit a total of $6,168. So super pleased with that. However, like I said, definitely should have let it ride out a little bit longer. Like I said, I am shorting the stock now, so I picked up a couple of puts. Picked up 40 contracts at $1.20, and then another 20 contracts at $1.15. So small position there. And I do believe I'm currently up on my position right now. Let's see. Oh, actually I'm down. Yikes. I'm actually down $1,000 right now in that position. However, I'm not too worried about it. I know that this bullish trend has to have a pullback eventually. This just isn't sustainable growth. It's just a high volume of buyers right now, and eventually, you know, just like I did, there's going to be other buyers that are going to eventually want to lock in those profits, and then it's going to sell off. So I'm not too worried about that position right now. I do think I'll end up making a quick profit of about $1,000 off of that position. And then, like I said, after it sells off, I do want to pick up a couple of more calls. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'll keep you guys posted on this swing trade that I'm taking with the puts. And then I'll keep you guys posted on if I do end up buying more call options later on in this week. Whether that's tomorrow or Friday, I'll let you guys know. That does it for this video. I hope it was helpful. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And I will see you guys in the next one.